to cast their vote, we should all be standing together, Democrats, Republicans, and we should all be raising hell. But unfortunately, this was always the plan. And so I am grateful for this court order. And as Congressman Allred has already stated, we encourage each and every one of you to remain resilient. We cannot allow this type of behavior to be rewarded, because so long as they know that they can win, even if it means cheating, then they will continue to do it. So I am asking you, I am begging you to make sure that you go ahead and figure out where it is that you are supposed to vote, stand in line, wait in line, and if it means that I gotta come out there with you to wait with you, I will do that.
Yes. Why they are doing fast calculations about Jasmine Crockett, you can clearly see here from polling market that this guy is having 99% chance of winning. You cannot actually say that it is over here because we are waiting for some result in Texas to come in. At this time, I'm creating this video. Jasmine is crying about cheating. This is something when some actually once said Democrats say it's not their thing. They don't usually use this kind of phrases. Now, look at what they are doing. It is important. I show you some clips. Before we go into the full analysis of this clip, take a look at this video.
By the whole thing with Stephen Colbert.
That was a big rocket for him. He had to be a real news nerd to know who he was before then. But that moment where, suddenly, Stephen Colbert, who's obviously a legend among Democrats, says, hey, this kid, Trump and these guys don't want to hear from. I'm going to let you hear from him now. That's when he really, he got $2.5 million, I think, the next day. And it put him on the map. You could see it kind of irritated Jasmine Crockett a little bit that he was getting all this attention. Because up until then, she was very far ahead. If, in fact, he closes, probably that's the day that started.
Yeah, I definitely think it was true. Like you said, we obviously knew Tallarico. We were covering him, looking at, the kind of personality he was, but it was completely different after that.
Pay for that level.
You can't, which is ironic because it was Jasmine Crockett who before was getting all the sort of, earned media online.
Scott, you look skeptical.
Well, look, well, let's just admit, it was an op, right? Trump had nothing to do with it. It was CBS's lawyers that had raised internal issues about it. It was a total sort of a hoax about how they positioned it. But I tend to agree.
Details.
I know. I'm glad that's what you think. But I tend to agree.
Yes, I knew that this is how this thing would be. You saw the mafia of these people play few weeks ago. At some point, I knew Jasmine was all going to lose. Now, look at what people are putting out on X, absolutely disgusted that the Democrat will celebrate a white man stealing a black woman's job. White supremacy is a serious problem in our country. Even Democrats are now calling out their own party. I thought they usually use this kind of words to Republicans. Now, it has changed hands suddenly. Looking at Jasmine, if I were her, I would not even run. I knew that this lady can win. Yeah. Despite the mafia they play, it is now she will know exactly how her party operates. It took them just 2-3 days for this other guy to show up on TV.
Got a little bit of breaking news out of Texas as we continue to watch the Democratic U.S. Senate primary there. As you see, this is what we've got right now. 45% of the vote in. James Tallarico leading Jasmine Crockett right now, 53 to roughly 46%. But again, less than half the vote in. Actually, all night since we first sat down at this desk is the question of Dallas County. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett represents a district in Dallas. And Dallas County has had problems with the administration of their election today. We've been explaining that over the course of the night. I'm going to go right now to Evan Smith, who's the host of Overheard with Evan Smith on Austin PBS. He's a veteran observer of Texas politics. He's got 30 years experience doing that. And Evan, I'd like you to explain to us again what had happened earlier today in Dallas County, why things have been chaotic there. And now this new reporting about a judge's order about the extension of voting there.
Right. So as we talked about earlier, Rachel, the Republican Party in Dallas County decided they did not want to have countywide elections. They wanted to make people go to their assigned polling place locally. And if the Republicans say you can't have countywide, then the Democrats can't have countywide. So Democratic voters showed up thinking they were going to be able to vote at the places around the county they had voted, and they were turned away. And there was a big push to try to extend voting in Dallas County as a result of that, to give those people an opportunity to vote after all. A Dallas judge ordered the polls open until 9. Well, Attorney General Ken Paxton asked the Texas Supreme Court within the last couple of hours to overturn the Dallas judge's ruling. And according to reporting from my former colleague Eleanor Klibanoff of the Texas Tribune, the Texas Supreme Court has just temporarily blocked that judge's order to keep the polls open until 9, ordering the county to separate out the votes from people who were not in line at 7 o'clock. This throws a monkey wrench into the vote count in Dallas County. Whether those votes are going to count or not, we have no idea what's going to happen. It's a temporary ruling, but goodness, this is a mess, Rachel. It was already a mess. It's more of a mess now.
This is a pause of the vote extension in Dallas County. Are people being stopped from voting right now?
What I know is that the county is being told you have to take the votes that were cast in the last 2 hours. It's coming up upon that 9 o'clock hour central here in Texas right now. You have to take the votes that were cast by people who are not in line at 7 o'clock, push them to the side, and the fate and the status of those votes is now unknown. And of course, if you're Jasmine Crockett, you're thinking this is terrible for you, because this is the county where you're going to hopefully roar back into contention in this race.
And this is as you said, it was a Dallas judge who ordered the extension of voting in Dallas County. And then it was U.S. Senate candidate and sitting Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who asked for an individual state Supreme Court judge to weigh in and essentially overturn that other judge's ruling?
Ask the Supreme Court of Texas.
This is a Democrat thing. But the way I see a lot of Republicans are celebrating on social media, that's to tell you that this lady's career is totally over. Jasmine is done. Yeah. She has been running her mouth, saying a lot of things, you need to adjust yourself at some point, because situations like this will always come. She has been too out there, insulting Trump, saying all ridiculous things. Now, in their own party, they didn't even like her. Look at this. Crazy, right? If I'm telling you Republicans are happy, they don't like this lady based on what she has actually been doing. Now going back into this guy, Jasmine should call this James out because of the cheating they did on this show.
At the magic wall, John, obviously everyone's watching these numbers really closely, wanting to see what this looks like. We've seen how much spending has gone into this race alone. I was looking at this between Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico. He outpaced her by about 5-1 in ad spending leading up to tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to spread this out. If you want to, this is what makes a lot of people at home just go, "Urgh," about politics. This is the most expensive Senate race in history. $71 million spent just in favor of Senator Cornyn, the Republican incumbent. $71 million spent for one candidate who's probably going to be in a runoff, so they're going to probably have to do it again. But then you look at the other races here. Pro Tallarico, $24.3 million. Pro Crockett, $5 million. You see all this other money in here. It's a big state. It has some big media markets, but this is one of the things that disgusts a lot of everyday Americans about politics. They're thinking, maybe there's a better way, better use for some of that money. This is what it gets you, though. It does get you votes in the results. This is a fascinating Democratic race right now. James Tallarico, state senator, 53%. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett at 46%. When you round that up, I had my back turned when you came to me because I was just going county to county looking through. You go where the people are first, right? In the primary, Harris County is the #1 population center.
If you see some short clips at the end, that is for the white algorithm. You can always skip. God bless you abundantly.
Bays once told the award show crowd, Don't use it as a platform to make a political speech. You're in no position to lecture the public about people.
A person's home, it's very easy to understand.
When I look at that video, I don't see both sides in a dogmatic.
The Golden Globe for Best Editing goes to the Justice Department.
This is for her. This is for the people in the United States who are terrorized and scared today.
Yes. Of course, this is for the mother.
Babies are upstairs watching. Y'all better be off them damn phones and watching me.
Thank you, everyone. I'm a little in shock about that.
Maduro.
Let your hatred and sit this one out.
Well, these guys.
There you go.
Everybody knew that wasn't true.
A dangerous relative as a likely suspect. A tip that led to her brother Nick. Rob Reiner and Nick had a heated argument the night before at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party, being back on his own. In one interview, she said,
We should have said nothing.
The United States to take this family tragedy in which the president had made no comment.
When people ought to have.
Absolute horror.
Hi, Mel Gibson. I'm in Italy.
There is a quota system.
This is my 6th and last year hosting the Grammys. Song of the Year. Congratulations, Billie Eilish.
Itself, but he utilized.
But I say all this in terms of, in context of abortion, because before God comes over Mary,
did not shake her.
Brett Kavanaugh.
Press this country to
the joyous moment as all Americans.